this way to help my mom get the rental car situation figured out. My mom's car needs to get fixed up, so I gotta follow her to the rental car place. But I have some time to try and talk to you guys about Salt Lake City. Finally, I know I'm episodes behind, but hey, I'm almost like Jesus, okay? When you might not be there when you want them, but you're there when you want them, okay? Show up on time, all right? So, nonetheless, you guys, y'all have already been watching Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Y'all know Bronwyn is here, and she's here to stay, okay? Bronwyn has definitely, been awarded MVP. In my eyes, one of the best additions as far as newbies when it comes to Real Housewives in general. She has been one of the better additions. Is this gonna make this? Can you see better this way? I feel like it. A little bit more light. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. I apologize if I missed anything from this episode. I watched it like 1.5 times. Oh my God, freaking! Can you stop shaking? I'm on these goddamn roads. And they're doing construction and stuff. And then, not to mention this fly. Isn't it so annoying when a goddamn fly or a bug is in the car and it just, you roll down the window and it does everything but go outside. But yes, let's go ahead and get into it. So, in this episode, we open up with, who do we open up with? Mary basically is having a breakfast at Mary/Tiffany's, fan of Audrey Hepburn, so the girls need to come in real, Tiffany blue debutante-esque attire, right? We'll get into the fashions later. Y'all, sorry if you hear this car, like they literally got it so coned off, you can barely drive down the good part of the street. Lisa, hold on y'all, my mom's calling. All right y'all, I'm back. So we basically start off with Lisa coming back to tell Heather all the stuff that happened on this couples trip, and she tells Heather how Bronwyn, she was basically, Bronwyn was like putting her in the middle of things. She was like, yeah, I just don't appreciate how Bronwyn, was putting me in the middle of you guys. Like, I just kept trying to explain to her, your feelings and how you were feeling. And she just kept feeling like, I should have been taking sides. And then, oh my God, like Todd, he basically had the nerve to kick me out of his house just because I wouldn't side with Bronwyn. And it's like, Lisa, that's not why Todd tried to kick you out the house. He kicked you out the house because you was causing chaos and confusion, okay? Discombobulating everything. And, Heather was just like, yeah, I just really don't know what's up with Bronwyn. And Lisa tells her, how Bronwyn was like, I don't know what's up with Heather because she's not the only one whose feelings were hurt. Like, after she left, like, I started crying. And Heather's like, oh, really? And she was like, oh, you're crying, but then you, because Lisa also was like, well, she was like really upset that you didn't go on the trip, and she actually wanted you there. And it was just kind of like the way Lisa and Heather relay conversations is almost like god dang when bad cell phone service happens, just broken telephone. They want to give bits and pieces of the conversation, and then they don't add context to the shit that they're saying. So now Heather's feeling like, oh, really? Like, you wanted me, you're crying when I leave, but then you also want me there. And Heather's feeling like, oh, she's coming into the group and she needs to learn. No, Lisa's like, she just doesn't understand our friendship. Like, we've been through so much. And Heather's like, yes, we've been, down the road and back. All of our friendships are such in a good place. And Lisa's like, yeah, like, I don't even know what's going on with Bronwyn. Like, she just needs to learn. And then Heather was like, well, I'm going to teach her. I said, excuse me? Teach her? Heather, girl.
Girl. This girl is delusional.
You really got your head stuck up your own ass right now, because I I don't know where all of this like unnecessary. I know in Heather's mind she's thinking she's giving off bad bitch energy, but you're not. You're really just giving off like Regina George asshole energy, like unnecessarily, because Bronwyn genuinely hasn't done anything to you specifically to even be warranted all this extra heat that you keep giving her. After that, there was a scene with Angie and her father. Basically, Angie was just kind of talking about her relationship with her mom. Y'all, her mom she couldn't put the bottle down. As you know, there are a lot of parents out there, they be having all these kids and, you know, can't cope and start leading into drugs and alcohol to, you know, self-soothe, self-medicate. That's why y'all need to quit forcing people out here to be having babies, because not everybody is meant to be a parent. But Angie basically was just speaking with her father and just, you know, basically thanked him for, you know, raising, I think she said it was either 4 or 5 of them. So, you know, that's a lot of kids. And especially as a mom, you're expected to do it all, you know, kind of pretty much by yourself. So, yeah, she was stressed out, but that bottle wasn't gonna help the mama. But Angie, that's why she's such a helicopter mom with her child, because it's like she wants to give her everything that she didn't get herself. So, after that, we see Bronwyn and Todd. Now, speaking of Bronwyn and Todd, I ain't gonna lie, it's giving real Erica Jane, Tom Girardi energy. You know, if there's one thing that an old rich white man is gonna have, it's gonna give off, you know, just real privileged energy of just like telling people stuff and, you know, boss, basically. Like, they're gonna feel like whatever I say goes. And that's how Todd speaks, especially with him being from the older generation. It's like, don't backtalk me. Like, that's kind of how their energy is. So he basically shunned Bronwyn, and I didn't like that. I did not like how he basically blamed Bronwyn for the whole trip going south. He was like, I just never seen that side out of you. Like, I just, you know, you get around these ladies and that's how you act. Like, I'm not understanding. Like, you know, these obviously are people that you need to be around. And Bronwyn, you clearly didn't explain to him how Housewives work. You could tell Todd was so thrown off this trip, because he's like, damn, the minute we got here, y'all already yelling. Like, this ain't making no sense. But yeah, Todd, if you don't want to be on the show or, you know, be a part of the nonsense, you just got to be behind the scenes then. But I didn't like how he tried to blame her. She was like, oh, so are you really saying like I ruined the trip? And he was like, yeah. I was like, But Bronwyn has this thing where she just kind of like, she cocoons when he starts talking. And basically by cocooning, I mean like she kind of really just like, you know, concaves. She concaves into her own energy and just her own body. And you could tell, and she says it in the confessional, she was like, you know, I do, you know, look for Todd's approval. You know, his approval to me means everything. And also, I think a big part of that is their religion. In the Mormon community, approval is how they guilt people into doing a lot of things. How they guilt a lot of, you know, women into feeling like, you know, I'm gonna stay in this relationship because the only way I'm gonna get into heaven is if I got a man. Which is why Brittany's dumbass is sitting here crawling after Jared with his old measly wannabe famous ass. You know, it's just it's like that approval of God, approval of the man that you're with, like, and then not to mention he's the man, he got the black card, you know. So I really hate that for Bronwyn. Now, Bronwyn girl, if you are on your way out, I mean, I ain't mad at you, because they've been in there for what, 10 something years. And if she do leave him, what I don't want to hear is Heather's motherfucking mouth trying to do the I told you she was a gold digger. Because at the end of the day, if she was married to that man for that long, I don't know if she's working or still working or whatever, like, that's how all divorces work. So Heather, are you just upset that you left from your marriage with nothing but your kids and the clothes off your back? Is that because it's giving jealousy? You're already jealous because Bronwyn represents the type of girls that, you know, was in the in crowd with Lisa. Because in school, Bronwyn would have been hanging out with Lisa. And you would have been sitting there looking from a distance, okay? In the famous words of Medea, you know, wishing you could be them. So, and Heather, yeah, I'm going to get into your ass in a little bit too. So, y'all jumped in the comments. Y'all think Bronwyn is planning for her great escape, okay? So, now let's get into, you know, the party, okay? Where do I need to turn at? Okay, right. Is this Enterprise? Yes. So Mary is hosting her, you know, breakfast at Mary / Tiffany's. And, you know, the inspiration was like, I think her name was Audrey Hepburn. So Bronwyn shows up first, beautiful yellow dress. She got the memo, okay? She understood the assignment. Who didn't understand the motherfucking assignment was Meredith. When I tell you Meredith came in there with some goddamn broom straw clip-on bangs, I was like, okay, yeah, all right. I'm just so confused. Ain't no way you looked in the mirror and thought, yes, I'm killing these hoes with that bang. Like, that bang was giving all types of Shein wig bang. But she comes in, Bronwyn's sitting there. To me, the top was Angie. Angie killed it. She understood the assignment. Angie, Bronwyn, and Mary. Lisa, I get it, you wore your little Tiffany blue jumpsuit, but just because it was blue, you know, that don't mean like that was like, I just didn't like it. It was not meant for the occasion. Who else came in? This flaw, get out. Jesus. When I tell y'all this damn fly has been killing me, finally got that whole out. It's been killing me this whole car ride. So yeah, who else? Heather came in looking real normal, her usual self. I know you lost some weight, Heather, but you still are giving, you know, fat kid energy. And what I mean by that is, with a lot of people, although they'll be overweight and they lose weight, they still have the insecurities and the mentality of a fat kid. So they still carry those insecurities. And that's what Heather is doing. She is still vying for, you know, that in crowd with Lisa type, you know, attitude. And it's not becoming. And Heather, a lot of people did like you, but you really turning off a lot of people this season. So, like I said, everybody comes in, they sit down. You know, Mary, basically, they saw Brittany's little table placemat, and they're like, "Oh, you invited Brittany?" And Mary said, "Yeah, I want her to see I wasn't broke." I said, "No, I'm not broke. I cannot." She said, "I'm gonna make sure this hoe know I got some money, okay? So I got the munions." So they all sit down, and I think the first, Heather, that's what, okay. I was like, who started it first? Heather, because Heather was determined. Heather's like, yeah, I'm gonna be that bitch. I'm gonna start it off. So Mary started with the toast. It was like, you know, thank you everybody for being here. You know, I just really want all of you guys to, you know, feel included in our girls group. Let's really, you know, try to you know, have these friendships with each other. Brittany came in last. Somebody saved the best for last. Girl, she came in like she just got off the whole stroll, okay? And she put on a good blazer that was in the back of her trunk. Looked like she just got done over there at Jared's house from him treating her like a dummy one more again. But yeah, after, you know, Mary does her toast, basically Heather, she starts with the shits, talking about, you know, Mary, I really appreciate you for including everybody. You know, that's just so nice. That's something that, you know, we know not everybody in this group does. Clearly, you know, pointing the finger at Bronwyn. And Bronwyn caught it, but she ignored it. And Heather, like, if you got a problem, say something. Just say something then. What's your problem, bitch? Yes, I didn't invite you. because you came over to my house being a whole grade A asshole. And I'm really upset that Bronwyn didn't ask for clarification of what Heather told Lisa, because that was the whole thing of what was going on when they were on the trip. Was Lisa, all she kept reiterating was Heather's feelings, this is how she's feeling, I can't speak for her feelings for this, because that what you're telling me is not what she told me. There needed to be some goddamn clarification and make things crystal clear of how Heather was talking behind Bronwyn's back, because Bronwyn very much said it. She was like, I'm actually trying to make up with Heather, but she's the one talking shit. So, you know, it's not me. We need to figure out what her problem is. After that, Brittany was like, oh, so like y'all all went? And they were like, yeah, but Whitney was just kind of like, I think it was either Whitney or who was it? Whitney? Might have been Whitney or Lisa that was like, well, I don't know why you would go, because you were talking shit about her relationship. And Bronwyn was like, right, you know, you called me a gold digger, you said Tom was you were speaking about Tom, like, and Brittany was like, I said that. Yeah, I said that. Well, I didn't say that, but I said that. And so, speaking of gold digger, you know, Bronwyn brings up, and Heather, you keep bringing Heather was like, yeah, you know, a prenup, you called me stupid, or Todd stupid for not having a prenup. That's also something, Heather, you said. And she was like, yeah, I do think it's dumb to have a prenup, you know? She was like, but you know nothing about my husband. And she was like, I don't need to know any more about your husband. What I do know is, you're with him, you don't have a prenup, and he's, you know, an a-hole, and he likes to kick people out of his house. And Bronwyn obviously clocked that Lisa told her that information, was like, really, Lisa? Oh, wow, Lisa. Like, oh, like, this is what we doing. Bronwyn, that was your time to get Lisa's ass too. Like, I think Bronwyn is so on this road of like, I'm actually trying to be good with you hoes, that too much shit is sliding. Lisa should have got some heat, and Heather for damn sure should have got some heat, because what the fuck is your problem with me? And so Bronwyn just was like, oh wow, Lisa, like she was so thrown back, like, oh, this is what we doing. And so the thing is, Heather, you want to talk about this prenup stuff, and Bronwyn was like, you need to quit, you keep going down this prenup road, and you knocking on this door, bitch, I'm about to answer it. Like, and Heather's like, oh wow, really? Oh really? And so then she was like, well, she was like, I actually am trying to be good with you, Heather. I even, you know, bought a ticket for you. And she was like, oh wow, like, no you didn't, because nobody even knows my birthday, because I've lied to everybody about when I was born. So now it's like, well, bitch, you a compulsive liar then. Like, you lie, all you do is lie, girl. You sitting here lying about something stupid at your age. You're so insecure in general, you lying about your age. Like, I get it. It's like this thing of like, oh, don't ask how old a woman is. But girl, you need to be confident in you. You lost all this weight, got your new teeth, got your new face and everything, but you still don't want to tell how old you are. Okay? All right, Heather. All right, we see you. Unnecessary ass lying. So, she showed that she had the ticket and stuff like that. And, she gets into, you know, that the fact that, she was like, oh, really, you're being so nice and all this type of stuff. But, if that's how you really felt about it, then, she was like, if that's how you really were feeling about it, then why didn't you, why didn't you put yourself, you and Todd, in the back and put other people in first class? And she was like, because it was my goddamn credit card.
Boom.
Yeah. I said, that's how you do it. That's how you do it, bitch. That's a clapback. Girl, if it's my card, if I'm spending money, why would I not put myself in first class? It's my anniversary trip. You got this all ass backwards, Heather. You're trying so hard to make me the bad person that you're looking stupid. So at this point, Lisa's bringing up how Angie, she was like, even Angie was shocked about the tickets. Even Angie was upset about it. Angie was like, bitch, no, when, like, don't speak for me. She was like, yes, you were. And when I do the playback, Angie was not upset about, because she got first class. Like, she was her, and it was, if I'm not mistaken, her and Bronwyn were the only people who got first class. Everybody else was after that. And Lisa, you sitting here want to take a whole round world trip just so you can ride first class instead of spending 57 minutes on the way home. And you literally sitting there, well, Jack will be okay. You know, we'll go to Los Angeles first. But then you upset that people are sitting there looking at you about you being a bad mom. Girl. But what it was is she didn't want Bronwyn to get the drop on her. She didn't want Bronwyn to have like that one up on her. Like, oh, but you gonna put me in, and you ain't gonna finna put me in and coach, you know, like, like that's what she was worried, that's what she didn't want to happen. Her ego was bruised. Yeah, Angie was like, that wasn't me, like, I ain't had no problem with it, because she didn't. She was really just, like, shocked about where you were sitting at. So then, you know, Heather's trying to go at her, and Bronwyn basically is like, Heather, you know what? I don't know what your freaking problem is. Like, no matter what I say, you're going to have an issue with me. Like, it seems like no matter what I say, you're going to find an issue. So, like, what's the point? Like, everything I say, you're going to pick it apart. So, like, god dang. And so, finally, Heather, at that, like, because Heather was wanting Bronwyn to basically do this ping pong match with her, and she wasn't. Finally, Heather wants to do the, oh, well, you know, I'm just so defensive of this group because of everything that we've been through, i.e. Monica from last season, because Monica came in as this, you know, woman who was like, you know, the troll that they were dealing with and things like that. Now all of a sudden, Bronwyn needs to, you know, get the smoke too as a newbie. And it's like, cool, I get it. You the newbie. We need to test you out, see if you really can hang. And Bronwyn was like, bitch, you don't need to test me, okay? Like, girl, I'm not the one. Like, let it be organic. Don't be trying to pick shit with me just for the sake of me being a rookie in the situation and you feeling insecure about like me coming in the group and being good with everybody. So then Angie brings up to Meredith, because she's like, okay, we're all gonna make up, you know. Oh no, they ended up making up and they cheers. And then Brittany was like, wait a minute. Brittany was like,
wait a minute, hold up.
What about me? You know, and everybody was like, oh, Brittany, you know, but Mary's looking like, girl, if you don't shut your ass up and make sure you don't take no bread and steal no bread. And Mary brought up that Jared was all up in her DMs. I think he was just doing it to have some connection to somebody else on the show, because he wanted to be on the show so bad. He like, oh, I love your spiritual this and all this type of stuff like that. He's just looking to see. I'm sure he reached out to all them girls, whichever one was gonna bite, to have him have any type of access on the show. So, you know, everyone was like, going forward, you know, we're gonna include everybody. You know, we want to be good and make up. And so that's what Angie was like telling Meredith, like, look, I want to be good with you, but we need to acknowledge how, like, you tried to come for Sean and it backfired, and it did. Meredith, you tried to pull the, oh, we would have talked about husbands, you know, Mariah Hook. Like, I know things about you. Like, let's not go there, you know. And so Angie was like, that you tried to, like, use sexuality against my husband, and then when it backfired, now you want to pull Brooks into it, and, you know, now you're blaming my husband. And Sean wasn't with the shits with Meredith. She kept trying to get an apology. Meredith is the epitome. Meredith and Lisa are the epitome of white woman tears. White woman tears. They are the epitome of that. So now Meredith hits her with the, well, you know, we really don't want to go back, you know, because that wouldn't be good for anybody. And it did, low-key, kind of, it sounded like a threat. It really did. That's why Angie had to be like, are you threatening me? Like, everybody was kind of like, huh? So then Meredith, you know, was like, well, that's what your husband said. And she pulled out her phone. When I tell you, Whitney snatched the shit out of that phone And Meredith got up, don't you grab my phone. Don't you grab my phone. And they start going back and forth. Then Angie and Meredith start going back and forth. And so Mary was like, you know, chill out. Like, no, if you can't get it together, then leave. And so now Meredith's like, oh my gosh, you want me to leave? Fine then, I'll leave. And Mary's like, that's not what I said, ho. I told you, if you can't act right, then leave. No, Mary, no. It's clear that you and Angie have stated where you stand with me. You want to talk about me, then fine, you know, go ahead. And so she gets her jacket and I'm sorry, Mary, I must go. And then she leaves, and it's just so fucking dramatic. I'm like, damn, Meredith and Lisa got this thing where everybody got to apologize to them. Everybody's wrong. Everybody got to say some apology. And Lisa, you really got off scot-free. Lisa really did, with telling Heather and like relaying that message about like being kicked out no. And Heather, she got off scot-free too, trying to start some shit and with that whole, you know, trip situation, and not really being like called to the carpet on how she relayed the message to Lisa and Meredith. But Bronwyn is trying to be good with her. But we see next week, that shit don't last long. They all go on a camping trip, and the shit gets started right back up. You know, it's always gonna be that way. I feel that Lisa is upset that Bronwyn is cool with Whitney. I feel that it's so weird because when girls bring on their friend, there's a part of them that gets upset that they become good with the other girls. And Lisa definitely has this loyalty thing so backwards, because she does do this thing of like, oh, you're not a good friend to me, like you're not loyal. But then when people like call her out about how she be hurting their feelings or how they feel done wrong by her, it's like she's never at fault. Never. I really be feeling like, and then Justin, Lisa, I'm so upset that Whitney's husband apologized. She wouldn't have got motherfucking apologize, sorry from me. Not motherfucking sorry. No. Not on duty. So yeah, what else? Yeah, I mess with Sean. Lisa can kick rocks. Heather can kick rocks with open-toed shoes with her Flintstone looking ass. I'm digging Angie, Bronwyn, Mary this season. I'm loving her vulnerability with her son. Y'all, her son on that stuff, okay? Now, I ain't finna blame the woman, okay? You know, I'm not one for, you know, what the man does, you know, the woman's at fault of. But I am wondering how much, you know, that white girl got to do with him being on that stuff. Because, you know, them rich white kids, okay, for the Laguna days and Hills days, you know, they was partying, all right? And he was on that fentanyl, that weed that was laced, and that cocaine. And, you know, that's, you know, them white people drugs, okay? But she laid up at the house. I'm like, bitch, if you don't, where your mama and daddy at? Why you ain't at home? You know, like, why are you laid up in the bed with this dude? Mary is so, like, at least in her mind, she's like, well, at least he's home. I know he's safe situation. Okay, let your son be home, but tell old girl take her ass on somewhere, because the fuck, y'all just living up in here and fucking ain't paying no bills. No. Brittany, although she's delusional about Jared, I actually like her. We always need a kooky, delusional person on the show, you know. I don't mind Brittany. I really like her. Her delulu-ness, okay? Ooh, speaking of Brittany, there was one thing I forgot about her. She tried to get upset at Angie for bringing a bottle of wine to her house when they had a little Mormon get-together. She was like, Angie, like, how dare you bring that? You know, and when I tell you Angie gagged and gooped Brittany, she said, girl, you sitting here drinking champagne right now and doing 3 men and had a nerve to get mad at me for bringing a bottle? Everybody's face said, stuck. And she was like, I'm not screwing 3 men. And Whitney called her out, was like, are you upset that she brought the bottle, or are you upset that she, revealed that you be drinking? Because, girl, you drinking champagne right now, and then you was over there guzzling when y'all all went on that trip to the little hockey game. And so Heather kind of obliged in the same sentiments of how, when you're, in Mormonism, all these goddamn rules that you have to adhere to. But she's like, well, you need to go to the renewed, new, renovated, Mormon life, the one that Lisa go to, because Lisa got a whole liquor business, and, is still, invited to the church and ain't shunned, But yeah, that part, y'all, had me gagged. She said, girl, you doing 3 men and drinking champagne right now, I gotta get mad at me for bringing a bottle. Stuck. Okay. But yeah, you guys, that was Salt Lake City. I'm excited to see how this season keeps going. Y'all drop down in the comments, tell me what y'all think about Meredith and the whole white woman ways. Y'all feel like Heather is now happy to be sitting at the cool kids table, okay? Who do y'all think was the best look? Mary said, I'm glad she could leave with her Flintstone. She said, this is Audrey Hepburn, not the Flintstones, because she had that whole Wilma bang going on at the top, okay? And I feel like that's it. Yeah, you guys, make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Like the video, and I'll catch y'all hoes later. Deuces.